Why did Jungkook choose to remain silent, even when BTS's Taehyung's face looked different after the mysterious injury? Is this just a small incident, or is there a big secret deliberately hidden from the army? Behind a camera and a smile that looks tough, there is a look that cannot lie. The question is who is actually responsible, and why does Jungkook look so depressed? Imagine a stage full of lights, thousands of cheering soldiers, and cameras capturing every detail of the BTS members' faces. But amid the glitter, there was one thing that left everyone speechless: the striking change in Taehyung's face. Not just a different smile line, but a look that seems to store pain that does not want to be shared with the world. Then, on the side of the stage, Jungkook stood silently, without a single word coming out to explain, as if the weight of the secret was too heavy to reveal. What exactly happened? Why did Jungkook choose to keep quiet? This incident started from an appearance that was initially considered normal until a close-up portrait of Taehyung spread on social media. The ever-observant army immediately caught the change. There was something different there. Some suspect the injury occurred during rehearsals. Others attribute it to a backstage incident that was never revealed to the public. But what made it all the more confusing was Jungkook's expression that night. Unlike usual, he didn't approach Taehyung in between songs, didn't throw the little smile that's usually a sign of their familiarity. Jungkook seemed to keep his distance, but his gaze continued to follow Taehyung's every move. The question arises, was this injury caused by an accident that Jungkook knew about but he couldn't talk about? Or is there a conflict that makes them choose to silence the truth? Rumors circulated quickly, from online forums to large fanbase accounts, each carrying pieces of the story that seemed to collide with each other. Some anonymous sources even mentioned that there was a tense moment in the rehearsal room a few days earlier when Taehyung was seen leaving the room with his face covered in a mask, while Jungkook stared at the floor without a word. Even more surprising, during the latest promotional interview, Taehyung only gave a short answer when asked about his condition. "I'm fine," he said with a slight smile that made the army even more worried. The camera captured a slight change in her jaw, as if there was a puffiness disguised by thick makeup. But what really breaks hearts is the moment in which Jungkook almost speaks, opening his mouth as if to add something, but then closing it again. Does this mean Jungkook is protecting Taehyung from something bigger? Or is he harboring guilt for being involved in the cause of the injury? Conspiracy theories began to emerge. Some even attributed this to the great pressure ahead of the comeback, the intense training schedule, to possible incidents with the crew or outsiders. While HYB remains silent, letting rumors run wild, ARMY is torn between curiosity and worry. Every new photo of Taehyung is analyzed down to the smallest detail, the angle of his face, the expression of his eyes, even the way he smiles, all used as clues to find answers that were never given. But the more visual evidence is accumulated, the more it feels that there is something that neither side wants to reveal. Later that night, backstage, an eyewitness claimed to have seen Jungkook sitting alone, looking down, holding his cell phone without typing anything. While in another room, Taehyung is being treated by an internal medical team. Two separate moments that, for some reason, feel interconnected. What happened between the two before that moment? Why did Jungkook choose not to approach Taehyung in public, when normally he was always by his side? And here's the most disturbing question. If the truth is finally revealed, is the army ready to hear it? Or is this secret too painful to know? Hours after that appearance, social media exploded with the hashtags #ProtectTaehyung and #WhyIsJungkookSilent. Armies from around the world began posting close-up photos of Taehyung from different angles, trying to figure out where the changes were that made them feel something was wrong. Some compared the before and after photos, revealing that Taehyung's jawline appeared slightly swollen, his skin was faintly bruised, and his smile was not as wide as usual. However, among all the theories and speculations, the one thing that stands out is how Jungkook reacted, or rather, how he didn't react. He was present there, standing only a few meters away from Taehyung, but none of the usual warm interactions were seen. Not the mutual understanding gazes, not the chuckles between songs, not the secret hand gestures that often make ARMY smile. Jungkook was completely silent. A staffer who did not want to be named admitted that a few days before the event, there was a training session that went harder than usual. They're preparing the choreography at a fast tempo, and Taehyung, a famous perfectionist, is seen trying more than usual. The staff mentions, at some point, a fairly loud duck sound in the middle of the music, followed by surprised expressions from several members. As the music stops, Taehyung is seen holding the side of his face, while Jungkook stands not far from him with a pale face. No one knows for sure if the impact came from a choreographic error, a collision with stage equipment, or something more complicated. What made the situation even more mysterious was how HYB responded. In a brief press release, they only said that Taehyung was in good condition and that there were no serious injuries. However, the ARMY knows such statements are often made to assuage concerns, not to give details. Then why did Jungkook choose not to give a direct clarification? Is he not allowed to speak? Or is he afraid that his words will open the door to something much bigger? Sources close to BTS said that after the incident, the atmosphere in the locker room felt strange. Jungkook looks more reserved than usual and only speaks as necessary. Even when Jin tried to joke with him, he only smiled briefly and then looked down again. Taehyung, on the other hand, tried to appear as if everything was fine, even patting Jungkook on the shoulder briefly before entering the treatment room. The climax of the awkwardness occurs when the backstage camera captures a brief moment. Jungkook stands in the hallway with a blank stare, while Taehyung walks past him with a slight smile that feels forced. There are no words spoken, just a brief look that seems to convey hundreds of things that have never been expressed. The question is, what are they really hiding from the public? If this was just a minor injury, why did the atmosphere feel so tense? Is it possible that there is the involvement of the other person, or even an internal conflict that makes both choose to keep their distance? Even more curious is the emergence of rumors from one of the event photographers, who claimed to have photographed a rehearsal moment the day before the incident, where Taehyung and Jungkook were seen talking seriously in the corner of the room. In the photo, Jungkook's expression looks like he's apologizing, while Taehyung looks down, his hand touching his jaw as if it already hurts even before the performance. The photo has never been released to the public, and for some reason, the photographer admitted that he received a request not to share it. Does that mean Taehyung's injury didn't happen on stage, but long before the show started? If that's the case, why did the government choose to hide it? And most importantly, why did Jungkook choose to remain silent? The night after the performance, the hotel where BTS stayed became the center of attention for fans waiting outside. They hoped to get a glimpse of the members' moments, or even just wave their hands. However, that night the atmosphere was different. Normally, Taehyung would appear briefly on the balcony or in the lobby to say hello, but this time he wasn't seen at all. Jungkook did not show his face, as if the two agreed to avoid the public spotlight. A fan who happened to be staying at the same hotel admitted that he saw something that disturbed his mind. Around 11 p.m., a staff member came out of the elevator with a large ice pack and some topical medication. He goes to the room Taehyung is known to be in. What makes this story even more interesting is that, a few minutes later, Jungkook is seen exiting the same elevator, looking down, wearing a black hoodie, then walking quickly toward the fire escape. He didn't go to the lobby, he didn't leave the hotel. Instead, he went upstairs, which happened to be the floor where Taehyung's room was. The question is, if both are avoiding attention, why did Jungkook decide to ride anyway? Do you want to know about Taehyung? Or is there a conversation that no one should hear? The next day, BTS was scheduled to do a radio interview that was broadcast live. All the members were present, but once again, ARMY who watched the live stream realized that the interaction between Jungkook and Taehyung was minimal. When the host asked about their readiness for a comeback, all the members laughed and responded enthusiastically, except for the two guys. Taehyung just nodded with a slight smile, and Jungkook occasionally glanced at him, but his gaze was quickly diverted. There is one moment that many are hardly aware of, but for observant fans, it is the subject of heated discussion. As the host joked about the minor injuries idols often get due to hard training, the camera captured Jungkook's expression drastically changing, from neutral to tense in a matter of seconds. He even swallowed, then rubbed his hand on his thigh, like a person who is trying to calm down, while Taehyung, who was sitting not far from him, just lowered his head. The next day, BTS was scheduled to do a radio interview that was broadcast live. All the members were present, But once again, ARMY who watched the live stream realized that the interaction between Jungkook and Taehyung was minimal. When the host asked about their readiness for a comeback, all the members laughed and responded enthusiastically, except for the two guys. Taehyung just nodded with a slight smile, and Jungkook occasionally glanced at him, but his gaze was quickly diverted. There is one moment that many are hardly aware of, but for observant fans, it is the subject of heated discussion. As the host joked about the minor injuries idols often get due to hard training, the camera captured Jungkook's expression drastically changing, from neutral to tense in a matter of seconds. He even swallowed, then rubbed his hand on his thigh, like a person who is trying to calm down. While Taehyung, who was sitting not far from him, just lowered his head, avoiding anyone's gaze. Is it possible that the joke triggered a memory of something they had just experienced? A few hours after the broadcast, a large fanbase shared photos of Taehyung from the day. In the close-up photo, a slight bruise in the jaw area is clearly visible, although it is already covered with makeup. ARMY comments flooded the post, some worried. Others began to associate it with strange moments that have happened lately. Some speculate that the injury may have occurred during a choreography rehearsal that involved physical contact, while the wildest theories even mention the possibility of a backstage altercation. What makes things even more mysterious is the rumor that one of the staff members caught an emotional scene between Jungkook and Taehyung in the rehearsal room. The source claimed to hear a brief thud, followed by a loud noise like a falling object, then complete silence. As he enters to check, Jungkook looks back at the door, while Taehyung is holding the side of his face. The staff was asked to leave immediately, without further explanation. However, the rumors circulated only in whispers. No one dared to post evidence for fear of consequences. Even so, the pattern of silence from both sides, both members and management, actually makes speculation even wilder. On the other hand, some senior ARMY fans caution that this is not the first time there has been invisible tension between Jungkook and Taehyung. They recalled an incident years earlier when the two briefly looked cold to each other at an awards show, only to later appear together and dismiss the rumors with a big smile. But this time, something was different. There was a tense aura that couldn't disappear even though they were in one room. And amid all this mystery, one question continues to loom. If Jungkook really knows what caused the injury, why did he choose to remain silent? Is it because he's directly involved? Or is it because he's protecting someone? Maybe even Taehyung himself. It all started with a rehearsal tape that was never officially released, but leaked to some closed fanbase. The short-lived recording features BTS members repeating the choreography of the chorus of their new song. The movements are intense, with a rapid displacement of positions. In the 14th second, Taehyung and Jungkook move almost simultaneously in the same direction. There was a moment where the shoulders of the two almost collided, then suddenly Taehyung lowered his head, touching his jaw. The music stopped, and the other members looked away. What makes this footage even more of a question mark is Jungkook's reaction. He stands stiffly, his hands clenched at his sides. It was as if he wanted to get close to Taehyung, but he held back. Within seconds, one of the staff got into the frame. Then the camera turned off. There is no continuation. Some fans who claim to have watched the footage said that Taehyung's expression looked like he was holding back pain, but he smiled slightly as if trying to dampen the atmosphere. While Jungkook, with a look that is difficult to interpret, looks more like a person who is grappling with guilt. Then, there was a testimony from a former stage crew who had worked with BTS on previous tours. Jungkook and Taehyung's relationship is very close, but when there is an internal incident involving one of them, usually both choose to protect each other by silencing the story in public. If there is a problem, they will prefer to talk about it behind closed doors, even if it makes outsiders wonder, he said. But this time, many feel that there is a much heavier emotional burden. Other members also seemed cautious. During one of the fan cams from the concert after the incident, Jimin is seen occasionally glancing at Taehyung, then at Jungkook, as if to make sure both are okay. RM, who usually talks a lot between songs, actually cut one of the talks that began to touch on the topic of health. Does this mean that all members know something that is not known to the public? One of the most suspicious moments occurred when BTS did a short live stream to greet fans. In the middle of the session, an ARMY posted a comment asking directly, Tae, are you okay? We see your jaw differently. Taehyung smiled faintly and replied, Don't worry, I'm fine. But interestingly, Jungkook, who was sitting next to him, suddenly changed his sitting position, crossed his arms on his chest, and looked the other way. The reaction lasted only a few seconds, but was enough to trigger a wave of theories in the Army Forum. Increasingly, curiosity has turned into a collective fact-finding movement.